Today I received the brand new Rokinon 35mm f1.4 AF for Sony, and I want to give you my initial impressions of the lens. I already own the Zeiss 35 1.4, so at about half the price this could potentially be a serious challenger. Let's take a look. So first things first, included in the box is of course the lens hood, the lens caps, lens pouch, warranty card, and of course an instruction manual. Please. The included lens pouch does the job, but it does remind me a little bit of an oven mitt. Maybe I'm crazy here, but my initial impressions of the build quality is that it's actually very solid. It's similar in build quality to the Zeiss 35 1.4. One of the major differences is the manual focus ring, which isn't dampened unlike the buttery smooth Zeiss lens, but at about half the price, I guess we'll take it. I should also mention that this thing did already pass my unintentional drop test right after I got it. Just like the Zeiss 35, the Rokinon uses a focus-by-wire manual focusing system. Whether you like that or not is a matter of taste. But the whole point of this thing is that you won't really need that manual focus ring so much anymore, because this is in fact an autofocus lens. So let's dive right into the main event and talk about the autofocus performance. I've heard bad things about the other previous autofocus Rokinon lenses, about how they're loud and slow and clunky and inaccurate, and to be honest, I haven't experienced any of those problems with this particular lens. Now this does come with an upgraded autofocus motor, they claim, and they have some fancy abbreviation for it. But in practice, it's pretty quiet, very smooth, and quite fast. It's also compatible with Sony's advanced autofocus modes such as face detection and lock-on autofocus. However, there is some chatter from the lens where you can hear the noise of the motor clicking just a little bit. It's not really a big deal, and you probably wouldn't notice even for video continuous autofocus depending on how you're capturing audio, but the Zeiss does pull ahead here. The Zeiss costs twice as much, but it also has that sweet Zeiss glass, so it probably destroys the Rokinon in terms of image quality, doesn't it? Well, not so fast. For my initial test shots, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Rokinon actually outperforms the Zeiss in terms of sharpness at f1.4. I will say that the Rokinon has some pretty significant color fringing, especially at the edges of the frame, but I also noticed a little bit in the very center of the frame in a high contrast scene. But sharpness isn't everything. You buy a 1.4 lens for that sweet bokeh, right? And the Zeiss certainly pulls way ahead of the Rokinon here. Well, again, not so fast. In my initial testing, I really didn't see too much of a difference in terms of bokeh. Now, there will be a few minor things where the Rokinon simply can't match the Zeiss. But at half the price, it's probably good enough for most people, and almost certainly good enough for amateur photographers. So that's it for my initial impressions. You can check the link in the description to find updated pricing for the lens. So far, the Rokinon does get my tentative David approved stamp, but I have a little bit more testing to do, so stay tuned on my channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.